I've tried filming this intro 3 separate times and I can't even get to the spinning portion of this video. This does not bode well. Hello YouTube, my name is Isabella. Today I'm attempting to film my March TBR, TBR Chronicles Round 3. I spin a wheel in an effort to read my very vast TBR. As always, credit is linked down below for people I've drawn inspiration from. As I finally got set up to film this, which by the way, setting up for these things takes forever, I would really like to shout out all the people who've been doing these sorts of videos for years now, because boy is it a pain in the ass. But I forgot to grab all the books to run down whether or not I had or had not read my February TBR. Long story short, I have 4 days left and 3 books, 2.5 books left that I have to finish. I'm determined to do so because I do not want a punishment. If I don't finish it by February 28th, I will insert a clip of me pulling a punishment and having to deal with whatever that is. But I'm determined not to, so you better not be seeing a clip right now because I'm going to be pissed. And also, if you are keeping track, which trust me, I don't blame you, if you aren't, because it's not that important, I've tweaked a rule again slightly, and the tweak to the rule is if I get a third one, like if I spin another red, essentially if I spin another red, that's great. It's still going to be blank when I do this again in April. I don't want this to stress me out. I don't want to have an upwards of 12, 13, 14 spins. This is meant to be fun and an interesting way for me to choose my TBR, and that's what I'm sticking with. I'm going to pick my first prompt and replace it for blurb because that was the last thing I spun, and it is going to be adaptation. I don't want this. On to spin number 1. This better be the last time I filmed this stupid intro. A shitty spin, but I like the prompt. Seasonal read. Alright, so it has been an obscene amount of time later because I had to film this hours apart. So if anything shifted, my apologies. But spin number 1 was seasonal read, and this is the last month. I feel like I could get this book on this TBR before having to wait until next winter. So it kind of works out great. And that is The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. It's still technically winter. There's still a shitload of snow. I think is definitely going to get the wintry vibes that I want. This is a sort of, I think, Russian inspired fantasy tale where our main character practiced and gave offerings to the old gods. Then our main character's her mother dies and her father remarries, and this lady is a crazy Catholic. Then the old gods, I think, get restless. This is supposed to be phenomenal. I can't wait to read it, and the prompt I've pulled is recent purchase. Interesting. Looks like I'm already going to be doing some respins. Spin number 2. Spin number 2, I landed on used book and went with Amulet, book 1. This is a graphic novel series. I think it's middle grade. And to be honest, I think one of my siblings read these when they were growing up, but I never did because I thought it was too young for me, which is ironic now. I don't know what it's about. It's got 8 volumes, and I picked up the first 5 volumes at a thrift store for $5 altogether. So I'd like to start this and get cracking on them, and I needed a graphic novel on this list because, spoiler alert, this TBR is long. The prompt is going to be series continuation. Okay, ready, and spin number 3. Romance. Ooh, I know what I'm going to read for this one. For spin number 3, I ended up choosing Act Your Age, Eve Brown by Talia Hibbert. This is the 3rd and final book in the Brown Sisters series, and it is set to come out March 3rd. I have it pre-ordered. It'll be on its way to me in no time. I can't wait to complete this series. I've loved both of the 2 previous installments. This follows Eve Brown, who's the youngest sister. She's kind of a hot mess, and I think her family chooses cutting her off because I think her family is a bit well off and she has to get a job. And then she interviews for the head chef at this inn, and it goes really poorly. And then she hits the owner with her car and romance ensues. It sounds great. Sounds like a fun time. I've seen fantastic reviews for it so far. I'm very excited. All right, picking a prompt is going to be Random. Oh God, no. No, thank you. I don't have the time to do random. Oh no. I think I'm on spin number 4 of 8 currently because I already have one respin. Let's see. Now the next book, it's my own damn fault for requesting this from my library because I'm an idiot. But my next prompt was adaptation. And I hate this prompt. I've gotten it twice already. And honestly, I kind of want to get rid of it. But this one, I wanted to read the book because of the adaptation that is set to, I think, come out near the end of the year. And I meant to read this book for a while. Had it on hold from my library for months for it to only be stuck at the hold level. And that's none other than The Wheel of Time, The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. I'm very nervous and apprehensive to read this book. It is very popular, adult high fantasy, 13, 14 books in the series. A lot of people love it. A lot of people hate it. I'm interested to see where I fall. Okay, spin number 5 of 9 now. Ugh. Yeah, I knew this was going to be bad because of my poor rule making before this, and I have now learned, and that's why I've implemented the slight change. I'm hurting a little bit. I can't even read my own writing. It was contemporary. I've just been closing my eyes on the last couple, and then I realized you can't even tell because I zoom in. I hate this. Random. I'm going to randomize my TBR. I have a spreadsheet filled with all of the books I own, read and unread. I think it's like 50-50 at this point. I'm going to set my number generator here, and then we're going to see what it gives me. If it gives me a book I've already read, we're just going to keep going until I get something that isn't a book that I haven't read or a sequel. So we're going to spin it, generate number 118, and see what that is. If I knew how to screen record on my laptop, I would, but I'm not learning another new editing trick when I've been messing around with another editor. You're just gonna have to believe. All right, so number 118 is Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan, which I've already read. So we're going to generate this again. 232. Promise you, I'm being honest. I can show you the screen if you want, or a screenshot. We're 232. I went past it. Leviathan Wakes by James S.A. Corey. Holy shit, I'm so excited. I wanted to get it on this month's TBR anyway. Fuck yes. Maybe someone in this universe genuinely loves me because I spun, rolled, generated Leviathan Wakes. I will put a screen cap in there for you to believe me. I'm so excited. I wanted to get it on this month's TBR. I was going to put it in another spot, but if this takes this off my plate here, hell yes. Oh man. Mom pick. That's wonderful. Great. Truly, like, that's not me being sarcastic. That is a good thing. Spin number 6 was first in a series, and I went back and forth as to whether or not I was going to read this because it's another reread for me, but I've really been enjoying doing my rereads so far this year, and the 4th book is coming out in June, and although I've read the first 2 books in the series and only a year ago, I don't remember much about them, and that's none other than Truth Witch by Susan Dennard. I actually have a full review on this. If you're interested, I'll have it linked down below. I loved this book, and I read it was January of 2020, but the books, especially right before the pandemic really reared its ugly head in March, those books before that are like lost in my brain, and I really want to read Blood Witch, which is the 3rd book in the series, but I really remembered nothing. And there is a read-along hosted by Jade over at JD Ray Reads. They're starting a read-along of this series again, and I feel like participating would be fun, and I was toying with the idea of rereading them already. So now what should have been my last spin if I didn't get any doubles, or not doubles, you know what I mean. Anyway, 500 plus. Why not? You know what? This isn't bad because I have a lot of big books I need to read this month anyway. So spin 7. Please do me good. I don't even want to look. Recent purchase, which is okay. Not too bad. Spin number 7 was recent purchase, and there were actually a couple books I was really tossing up between, because I think I bought like 5 books, but they're all books I'm highly anticipating and I think I'm going to love. So I had to choose between them, and I ultimately went with Ring Shout by P. Djeli Clark. This is a novella that re-inspires the Ku Klux Klan as actual monsters, and I think like very terrible violent acts breeds these monsters, and we follow someone who is like hunting down these monsters and killing them. This sounds absolutely excellent. Everyone I've seen read this has absolutely loved it, and I can't wait genuinely to read this book. And it's short, which I desperately need for this month. I'm already at 10 spins, and I read 10 books on a good month, so it's all fun and games until your game turns against you. What's this? Novella. Oh, please. I beg. I beg of a novella. Spin number, I don't know. Fucking literary fiction. So when I got literary fiction, that one burned. Literary fiction takes a lot out of me. It's not something I read a lot, although I have some that I have to read on my 2021 TBR, so I might as well pick one of those. And I ended up going with My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. This may be one of my audiobook picks for the month. I definitely have it available to me. It follows a woman reflecting back on her time in a relationship where she was groomed, and I think allegations have come up against the teacher in like present day, so she reflects on her past. I've seen really good reviews. I know it's going to be deeply upsetting. I don't know if audio or reading it physically will be what will be worse, but we shall see. Okay, next prompt. Recent purchase, already did that. Yearly TBR, that would be helpful. Spin number 9. Hopefully. Honestly, not a bad thing. Spin number 9 was 500 plus pages, and I chose Chain of Iron by Cassandra Clare. This is also coming out March 3rd. I'm looking forward to reading it. It's the sequel to Chain of Gold, a book that I have now read twice and kind of reviewed. I'm just looking forward to it. They're silly and fun, and it's like 670 pages, I think. But that should fly by fast enough, and I've got enough chunky books on here, and I had to stick one more on there, and Chain of Iron just makes sense to me. What should be my final spin, if I don't hit 4 colors. 4 are safe, 4 are not, and I'll have you know I have the worst luck in the world, so this is probably not going to go well for me. I already picked literary fiction, already picked random. I gotta come up with more prompts. First in a series, literally just picking all the ones that I just did. Cover by. Okay. 3, 2. Oh, I don't want to spin it. Purple. Fuck. Spin number 10, series continuation. I put this book on hold on my library a while ago, and I was like, I don't know, 5th, 6th in line, so I didn't think it would get to me as fast as what it did. That's We Free the Stars by Hafsa Faizal. I reread the first book in January. A lot of this stuff is coming full circle. So I decided to read it from my library. This is also over 500 pages. I might have done myself even extra dirty this month, but if you're interested in my review for the first one, will be linked down below. I hope I really enjoy it. I'm glad I'm getting another finale and series closed out on my list. The first book is set in an Arabian-inspired world. Our 2 main characters are set on a quest that makes their paths collide, and they are basically both trying to kill one another to accomplish their tasks, and then things change. Well, at least this sets up for a better month in April. I'm very sad. I already picked romance. Maybe I've got to just separate these. Nonfiction. Spin 11. Hopefully final spin. Cover by. Nope. Oh God. Okay, we are almost done. Spin number 11 was cover by. Again, it doesn't have to be a book that I bought because of the cover. It just has to be like a cover I really liked. I again am using this prompt for an arc that I have, and that is Sorrowland by Rivers Solomon. This is coming out in May, so I have some time to read it, but I have a couple of books coming out around that time that are available to me, so I want to get cracking on them. And I again requested this because it's by Rivers Solomon and I really like the cover, so I figured that works for me. So this will be my final spin, because I always said that 12 would be my maximum, because 12 is a lot for me, and I just picked sci-fi. You know what, at this point it would be great if I hit dark blue or pink, because I'm gonna exit off anyway and not count it because I'm at my maximum amount of spins. But at this point in time, I don't care anymore. So let's see. Novella. Maybe I do care. Thank God. My final spin, thank God. We've reached the end. My final spin is Novella. And I ended up choosing Binti number 2, which the name is currently escaping me. So this is Binti Home. It is the second book in the Binti novella trilogy. And I really enjoyed the first book, which I can't actually remember when I read it. This is an Afrofuturist series, and in the first one, Binti actually leaves her people, who I believe, if I remember correctly, nobody of her people has ever left before, to go into space and go to like intergalactic school, and it's like sort of a big deal, and then things go like really, really wrong. For such a short book, and a book that I read at least a year ago, I remember it really, really well. So I'm excited to continue on, and maybe I'll finish out the trilogy if I have time, but that's doubtful. But I'm so glad I have another novella on this list. This is deceiving because I have 4 more digital or things that are coming to me to add on to this list, and that's what's making me nervous. This month is going to be interesting. Let me know down in the comments below your reading plans for March. I have a feeling this video was incredibly long, and I apologize, but next month should not be as bad. I have a hard month ahead of me. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you again later. Bye.